Good evening, dear listener. Welcome to a quiet corner of the world, where the fire glows softly, casting golden flickers across the room. Tonight, we invite you to let go of the day's worries, to sink into your blankets, and to let your mind drift. Picture yourself in a cozy stone cottage, tucked away in a forgotten valley. The hearth before you crackles gently, its warmth wrapping around you like a soft embrace. Outside, the night is still, with only the faintest whisper of wind brushing against the window panes. This is a place for rest, for peace, and for stories. Tonight, we'll wander through the mists of history, exploring gentle tales of the past, moments of daily life, forgotten customs, and quiet truths hidden in the shadows of time. These are not stories of grand battles or loud triumphs, but of the small, tender details that shaped the lives of those who came before us. So, close your eyes, if you wish, or let them soften as you gaze at the fire's glow. Let the rhythm of my voice and the crackle of the flames carry you towards sleep. We'll begin our journey in a medieval village, where the days were long, the nights were quiet, and life moved to the rhythm of the seasons. Breathe deeply now, and let the story unfold. Imagine a morning in a small medieval village, nestled in a valley where rolling hills meet the edge of a dense forest. The year is somewhere around 1250, and the world feels vast yet simple. As the first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, the air is cool and crisp, carrying the scent of dew-kissed grass and wood smoke. The village is just waking. A rooster crows lazily, its call echoing across thatched rooftops. In a small cottage, a woman named Aelith rises from her straw-filled mattress. She moves slowly, her hands familiar with the tasks of the day. She stirs the embers in her hearth, coaxing a small flame to life. The fire is the heart of her home, a constant companion in a world where warmth and light are precious. She sets a pot of water to warm, humming a tune so old that no one remembers its origins. It's a melody passed down through generations, a thread connecting her to ancestors she'll never know. Outside, the village begins to stir. The miller trudges toward the stream, where his wooden water wheel creaks in rhythm with the current. Children, wrapped in woolen cloaks, scamper through the muddy lanes, their laughter soft and fleeting. The blacksmith's hammer rings faintly in the distance, a steady pulse that marks the start of another day. Life here is woven from small moments, kneading dough, tending to livestock, mending a torn cloak. These are the threads of existence, quiet and uncelebrated, yet they hold the village together. Aelith steps outside, her breath visible in the chilly air. She carries a basket of apples, their skins a mix of green and rosy red, gathered from the orchard yesterday. The orchard is a place of pride for the village, a grove of gnarled trees that have stood for generations. Each spring, their blossoms paint the valley in shades of white and pink, a promise of sweetness to come. Aelith pauses to greet her neighbor, Godric, who is leading his ox to the fields. They exchange a few words about the weather, the harvest, the small concerns of their world. There's comfort in these routines, a rhythm that feels eternal. As the sun rises higher, the village glows with soft light. The thatched roofs shimmer with dew, and the fields stretch out like a patchwork quilt, golden and green. This is a world where time moves slowly, where each day mirrors the one before, yet carries its own quiet beauty. Let's linger here a while, in this moment of calm, and imagine the lives unfolding around us. By mid-morning, the village square comes alive with the weekly market. It's a small affair, nothing like the grand fairs of larger towns, but it's the heartbeat of the community. Stalls are set up beneath weathered wooden awnings, their tables laden with simple treasures. There are baskets of turnips and onions, their earthy scents mingling with the sweetness of fresh-baked bread. A merchant from a nearby town offers bolts of woolen cloth, dyed in soft shades of madder red and woad blue. A tinker displays his wares, iron pots, needles, and small tools, each one polished to catch the light. Aelith walks through the market, her basket now empty, traded for a small sack of barley. She pauses at a stall where an old woman sells herbs, their leaves dried and bundled with twine. There's chamomile for soothing teas, lavender for scenting linens, and sage for healing salves. The old woman, whose name is Ida, shares a quiet smile with Aelith. They speak of small things, the best way to brew a tea for sleepless nights, or how to keep moths from the wool. These conversations are a kind of currency, as valuable as the coins that change hands. Nearby, a group of children gathers around a storyteller, an old man with a voice like weathered oak. He tells a tale of a long-ago hero, a knight who wandered these very hills, seeking a lost relic. The children listen, wide-eyed, as he describes the knight's cloak, green as the forest, and his horse, swift as the wind. The story is old, perhaps half forgotten, but it lingers in the air like the scent of the herbs. It's a reminder that even in this quiet village, the past is never far away. The market is a place of connection, where neighbors share news and laughter, where the rhythm of life feels steady and sure. As Aelith makes her way home, the sun climbs higher, warming the cobblestones beneath her feet. She feels the weight of the day settling into her bones, but it's a gentle weight, a reminder of a life well lived. Let's follow Aelith back to her cottage, where the hearth waits to warm her hands and the day's work continues in its quiet, unhurried way. Back in her cottage, Aelith sets her sack of barley on a wooden table, its surface worn smooth by years of use. The cottage is small, its walls made of wattle and daub, a mix of mud and straw that keeps the wind at bay. The floor is packed earth, swept clean each morning, and a single window lets in a sliver of sunlight. It's a humble space, but it's hers, filled with the small comforts of home. She begins to prepare a meal, simple yet nourishing. From a clay pot, she scoops a handful of oats, mixing them with water and a pinch of salt. The mixture simmers over the fire, filling the cottage with a warm, nutty aroma. She adds a few dried apples, their sweetness a small luxury saved for days like this. As the pottage cooks, she sits by the fire, her hands busy with a piece of mending. The needle moves slowly, stitching a tear in a linen shift, each motion deliberate and calm. This is the rhythm of her day, cooking, mending, tending to the small garden behind the cottage. In the garden, rows of cabbages and leeks grow alongside herbs like parsley and thyme. She checks the soil, feeling its coolness beneath her fingers, and pulls a few weeds that have dared to sprout. The garden is her sanctuary, a place where she can pause and listen to the world, the hum of bees, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a cuckoo. Life in the village is not without its hardships. The winters are long, and the harvests are never certain. But there's a quiet strength in the way Aelith and her neighbors face each day. They share what they have, a basket of eggs, a loaf of bread, a kind word. These small acts weave a tapestry of community, one that holds them together through the seasons. As the fire in Aelith's hearth burns low, she adds another log, watching the sparks dance upward. The cottage grows warmer, the light softer. Let's stay here a moment, in this quiet space, where the world feels small and safe. As summer fades into autumn, the village prepares for the harvest festival, a time of celebration and gratitude. This is a custom as old as the fields themselves, a way to honor the earth's bounty and to pray for plenty in the year to come. The festival is not a grand affair, but it's cherished, a moment when the village pauses to breathe. Aelith and her neighbors gather in the fields, their arms full of sheaves of wheat and barley. The air is golden, heavy with the scent of ripe grain. They work together, cutting and binding the stalks, their movements steady and practiced. Children weave through the rows, collecting stray ears of wheat, their faces smudged with dirt and joy. When the work is done, the village gathers in the square. A great bonfire is lit, its flames leaping high into the twilight sky. The fire is a symbol of life, of warmth, of the promise that light will return even in the darkest months. Around it, the villagers share a feast, loaves of bread baked from the new grain, bowls of pottage thick with vegetables, and cider pressed from the orchard's apples. There's music, too, soft and lilting. A fiddler plays a tune that seems to rise from the earth itself, and a few brave souls dance, their shadows swaying in the firelight. Aelith watches, her heart full. She thinks of her mother, who taught her the steps of this dance, and her grandmother, who sang the same songs. The festival is a thread connecting past and present, a reminder that they are part of something larger than themselves. As the night deepens, the villagers share stories, tales of harvests long past, of ancestors who worked these same fields. The stories are simple, but they carry the weight of memory. They speak of a time when a great storm spared the crops, or when a kind stranger shared seed with a struggling village. These are the quiet miracles of their world, the moments that linger in their hearts. The bonfire burns low now, its embers glowing like stars. The villagers begin to drift home, their lanterns bobbing in the darkness. Let's follow them, back to the quiet of their cottages, where sleep waits to claim them. In the village, there's a story whispered among the elders, a tale of a lost relic said to have once rested in the small stone church at the edge of the fields. No one knows exactly what it was, a chalice, perhaps, or a fragment of bone said to belong to a long-forgotten saint. The story is vague, softened by time, but it carries a quiet magic. The church itself is ancient, its walls weathered by centuries of rain and wind. Inside, the air is cool and still, scented with beeswax and old wood. A single stained glass window, its colors faded but still beautiful, casts a soft glow across the stone floor. The villagers come here to pray, to light candles, to seek comfort in the rhythms of their faith. But the story of the relic lingers, a mystery that no one can quite unravel. Some say it was hidden during a time of war, when raiders swept through the valley. Others believe it was stolen by a monk who fled to a distant land. Aelith, sitting in the church one quiet evening, wonders about it. She imagines the relic resting in a secret place, perhaps buried beneath an oak tree or hidden in a forgotten crypt. The thought is comforting, not because of the relic's value, but because it's a reminder that the past is full of secrets waiting to be discovered. The mystery doesn't trouble her. Instead, it feels like a lullaby, a story that invites her to dream. She lights a candle, its flame small but steady, and offers a quiet prayer for the village, for the harvest, for the days to come. The church is silent now, save for the soft creak of the wooden pews and the distant call of an owl. Let's linger here, in the stillness of the church, where time feels soft and eternal. The candle burns low, and the world outside is quiet. Sleep is near now, waiting to carry you gently into its embrace. In every village, there's someone who carries the knowledge of healing, a person whose hands and heart are trusted to mend what's broken. In Aelith's village, that person is Marjorie, an older woman whose cottage sits at the edge of the forest. Marjorie is no grand figure, no name recorded in history's pages, but to the villagers, she is a quiet hero. Her cottage is a place of wonder, its shelves lined with clay jars and bundles of dried herbs. There's willow bark for fevers, yarrow for wounds, and chamomile for restless nights. Marjorie learned her craft from her mother, and her mother before her, a chain of knowledge stretching back through time. She moves through her days with a calm certainty, her hands steady as she grinds herbs or stirs a salve over the fire. When a child falls ill, Marjorie is there, her voice soft as she sings a lullaby to soothe their fears. When a farmer cuts his hand, she binds it with clean linen and a poultice of comfrey. Her remedies are simple, drawn from the earth, but they carry a kind of magic. The villagers trust her not just for her skill, but for her kindness, for the way she listens without judgment. Marjorie's life is one of quiet service. She asks for little in return, a loaf of bread, a basket of apples, a warm cloak for winter. But the villagers give freely, knowing that her work binds them together. As Aelith visits her one evening, bringing a small gift of honey, she watches Marjorie work by the firelight, her face lined with years but softened by a gentle smile. The fire in Marjorie's cottage glows, casting shadows that dance across the walls. The air is warm, scented with herbs and hope. Let's rest here a moment, in this place of healing, where the world feels gentle and kind. As autumn deepens, the village turns its attention to the changing seasons. The fields are bare now, the harvest gathered and stored in barns and cellars. The air grows colder, and the days shorter, but there's a beauty in this time of transition. The trees beyond the village blaze with color, red, gold, and amber, their leaves drifting to the ground like a quiet farewell. Aelith and her neighbors prepare for winter. They mend their roofs, stacking fresh thatch to keep out the rain. They gather firewood, piling it high beside their cottages, each log a promise of warmth in the months to come. In the evenings, they sit by their hearths, telling stories or singing songs, their voices blending with the crackle of the flames. This is a time for reflection, for looking back on the year and forward to the spring. The villagers know that life is a cycle, like the seasons themselves. There will be hard days, but there will also be moments of joy. A new lamb born in the spring, a festival to welcome the sun's return, a quiet evening by the fire. Aelith sits by her hearth, her hands resting in her lap. She thinks of the year gone by, of the small victories and quiet sorrows that have shaped her days. There's comfort in this moment, in the warmth of the fire and the stillness of the night. She feels connected to the village, to the land, to the generations who have lived this same life before her. The fire burns low now, its embers glowing softly. The village is quiet, wrapped in the embrace of autumn. Let's stay here, in this moment of peace, as the world slows and sleep draws near. As the night deepens, the village settles into silence. The fire in Aelith's cottage burns low, its glow a soft reminder of the day's warmth. Outside, the stars shine brightly, their light filtering through the trees. The world feels vast yet gentle, a place where stories linger in the air, waiting to be told. You, too, are part of this quiet world now. Let the rhythm of the fire, the softness of the night, carry you toward rest. There's no need to hold on to the day's worries. They can wait until morning. For now, there's only the warmth of the hearth, the whisper of the wind, and the promise of dreams. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and let your breath slow. Picture the village, its cottages nestled in the valley, its fields stretching toward the horizon. Picture Aelith, Marjorie, the children, all resting now, their lives woven into the tapestry of time. You're safe here, held by the gentle rhythm of the story. Sleep well, dear listener. Let the fire's glow guide you into a deep, peaceful rest. Good night.